Hello and welcome to our presentation concerning how to teach reading. I'm Tiffany Toot and my partner was Julie Mercer, and I'll be narrating our presentation. Before I get into our debate, I need to preface with some background knowledge, beginning with what is reading. And by definition, reading is understanding language, many different languages, through written symbols, speech sounds, printed words, and being able to understand those printed words when speaking aloud. In reading, concepts are taught sequentially, in an order, in a sequence. Beginning at pre-K, they begin to learn their letters, and on through school, they develop a fluent reading pattern by third grade. So for educators, the question remains, exactly how do we get these reading skills across to our students? So how do we teach reading to children? In our classrooms, that has become quite the debate. So we have this old versus the new, or old school versus change. In our building, what we have noticed is that we have the teachers that are considered old school teachers. The way of doing things is the way that it should be done. And then we have change, or the younger generation of teachers coming in who are eager to try something new and aren't afraid of change. So we then have listed the two different ways to teach reading. You can use leveled readers or leveled books, or decodable readers and decodable text. Those are the two ways. Truly, leveled readers is considered the old way, with decodable books being the new way to teach reading. Well, let me explain both of these concepts. So, leveled reading versus decodable books. To give you definitions of each, leveled reading is a series of books that increase the level of difficulty. The stories are shorter in lower levels. If you're using numerals, it would be a level 1 or a 2 up to level 30. And if you're using alphabetic sequence, it's A through Z. So you might be in a level A or a B in kindergarten. Those stories are very short. They're consonant, vowel, consonant words, 3 letters and 2-letter words, and gradually move to longer stories, whole stories, more words on a page, and more pages in a story. Or you have the definition of decodable books. Decodable books are systematic, sequential introduction of letters and sounds and those sound patterns in each book. They gradually get harder as you introduce new concepts, and the decodable books don't have anything inside of them that a child can't sound out on their own. They already have been given the skills. By the time they get their very first book in their hand, they've learned at least 2 letters, 2 consonants, and 1 vowel, so they can sound out a 3-letter word all on their own without any help. So now that we understand both what a leveled book and a decodable book is, let me explain leveled books a little bit better. The old way of teaching reading. First, you need to know how do you even level a book? If you have a library full of books, how do you do it? Well, there are 6 components to look at in order to determine the level of a book. You need to look at all those structural characteristics that are within the text, the way the words are built, the appearance and the placement of each word on the page. All of the pictures. Believe it or not, those pictures are important when the children are in the lower leveled texts. And how complex the topic is for each child's age. And then language predictability, that's always very important, along with repetition of those words and phrases inside of each page. So once you've figured out how to level your books in your library, then you have another important aspect of leveled reading. You need to figure out the level of each child in your class. So we have written down the 3 levels of reading that each child has in each classroom. There's an instructional reading level, which is what the teacher teaches at. It's a little higher for the students. So they have their instructional level, what they need to be taught at to learn new concepts. Their independent reading level is a level they can read all on their own, that they already have the skills to do. And their frustrational reading level is really a book that's way too difficult for them. we would never give a child a frustration book or a child at a frustration or reading level where they're not reading with confidence. So that independent reading level is really how you level a student. You find their independent level where they can read all on their own. Now, the ways to figure this out is by using observations. You're observing your child in your class every day. The miscue analysis when they are reading, marking down exactly what they're missing and what they still need help on. Doing informal reading inventories, or the most common method is using a running record. However, if you're not in education, you may not know exactly what a running record is. It is the most popular way to level a child. And a running record is truly just that. It's a record of a student's words that keep running, or a tally. So you read with a child and you note each right or wrong word, and then you figure out their independent level. 95% to 96 or 97 is considered their independent level. If a child reads a book with you at 100% accuracy, that would still be a little too easy. You would try the next level up. However, if they read at a 94% or below, that's frustration. They're missing too many words on a page to be able to read it on their own and be called an independent level. They get frustrated. Here are some examples of leveled reading. These are all first grade books, beginning, middle of first grade. This level text is the work helicopter. We also have the helpful bulldozer and animal helpers. Notice that some of these words are containing concepts that aren't taught in first grade. They aren't taught until second grade, end of second, or beginning of third. Yet children are expected to read these words as written on the page. Then there are advantages of leveled reading. Some advantages of a level reading are that each child has their very own independent level. It makes differentiation in a classroom much easier. Books are leveled according to readability. They're easily understandable for every child, and individualized instruction for every kid. Now, that's important for both parents and teachers alike, that you're able to give that individualized instruction. So now that I've really described leveled reading and how to level books and level students, let me explain decodable books, or the new way of teaching reading. If we recall the definition of decodable books, are books that contain only words that children have been previously taught the phonics skills to sound out. They're able to figure out every word on the page due to the lesson already being taught on such concepts. I have some examples that show decodable skills in a first grade lesson. Now, this book would correlate with a lesson taught with the oo sound, that double O. Every phonics skill here has been taught previously, making it easy for the child to sound out every word with the current book, focusing on the new oo sound that was just taught while reviewing all those short vowel or CVC words, those consonant vowel consonant words and short vowel patterns. Here's another example that also adds in some of our sight words that would be taught, such as my, do, and said. And one other, showing all short vowel words that a child is able to sound out. Notice the top right-hand corner of the book shows the letters and the vowels that this particular book is structured around, along with the consonant vowel consonant pattern, showing that it's Unit 5 teaching those concepts in that sequence. Now, decodable books do follow a systematic sequential phonics pattern, introducing phonics concepts in a manner which makes reading easy for children. And there are 6 key components of decodable books. Phonic regularity, that consistency is key in each text. Word frequency, using that repetition. Lesson to text match, making sure that the phonics curriculum matches the decodable books that are being used in the correct sequence. Making sure that each book uses only the current concepts being taught, along with only concepts that were previously taught in lessons in class. with an emphasis on short vowel and vowel patterns. And each book carefully uses fewer syllables and monosyllabic words, making reading attainable for every child. Now, the new way of teaching has advantages as well. Every child can read successfully. Beginning readers can feel success, which encourages reading. It can eliminate frustration by making sure that every child has the skills they need to read every word on the page. Its systematic sequence of books follows the same sequence of the phonics lessons that are taught in class. Children know what's on the page. They're not guessing at what's coming next. It eliminates that guessing game at the unknown words, which teaches poor reading strategies. Children have the correct reading strategies. They've been taught in class, and now they're able to read them on the page. And even beginning readers get to feel success, even in kindergarten, once they learn a vowel pattern, a short vowel sound, 2 consonants, they're able to read just a short 3-letter word, a CVC word, in early decodable books, feeling success, eliminating frustration. And those decodable books allow the children to apply their learned phonics skills with short stories early on in the learning to read process. So we presented both sides to you, both the leveled and decodable books, what we call the reading debate. And we've come up with a resolution of how do we solve this debate? What are we going to do? Our district, we feel what would be best is acknowledge that change can be scary, and we know it can be cumbersome, adding all new concepts, but it can also be very good. We propose eliminating leveled reading and moving to the use of decodable books. We feel that the evidence proves that the decodable books create more confident readers, eliminating the guessing game. Our action plan states that teachers need professional development on the topic. They need to understand the importance. They need to understand and learn the new sequence that our district is going to adapt. Once we adapt a sequence, we then need to create a requisition to purchase the decodable books along with the matching curriculum. We want to phase out leveled reading by 17-18, get every teacher on board by the end of this school year with their professional development, and then all K through 3 teachers be using those decodable books and the decodable skills by the 18-19 school year, focusing on phonics and the systematic sequence. And knowing that phonics in reading is such the debate, we looked at Finland schools, knowing that they are the top performing school in the world, and we wanted to find out how they teach reading. Now, they don't even attempt to teach reading in kindergarten. They begin teaching letters in kindergarten and don't use phonics skills until 1st grade. And they don't teach whole word, meaning they don't level students. They use decodables. They use the phonics skills. And they have a 100% literacy rate with a 99.7 national graduation rate. That's almost unheard of. So we could definitely learn from the way that they teach reading and from their education system. We have advocacy groups that we found, the American Association of School Librarians. They believe in no labeling books. They don't want them leveled. They don't want other children to see what other children are reading. It discourages reading, along with the Fordham Institute. They do not encourage leveled reading. They believe every child should be able to pick any book in their hand for comprehension, and that the phonics skills are more important than a level that a child is on. And we have different resources for the decodable books. If you'd like to print some, if you'd like to do it at home with your child or in school, Reading A to Z and Spellphabet both have over 100 printable decodables that you can print from home, easily attainable for educators. And we have our list of resources that we've used where we found all this wonderful information. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. Leave it in our comment section. And thank you for paying attention to the reading debate and our way to create a new world of readers with 100% success. Thank you.